Hi, so today I'm speaking to Robert, and I'm doing this video just because sometimes things get lost in the emails, and we want anyone at Amazon who can review this and see the full picture. So tell me, Robert, tell me what happened with your issue, which you sent multiple emails and it's causing you catastrophic loss.
So thanks, Ed, for meeting with me. I wanted to just start off by saying my name is Robert, as you mentioned. I'm a small business e-commerce seller. Started my business during COVID to provide for my family, and I began selling on Amazon in 2020. And I've grown this business to approximately $500,000 per month, priding myself on being aware of all of the Amazon selling policies, which has resulted in a perfect account health score, with a rare policy violation here and there that I quickly appeal and resolve. This success has allowed me to give back to my community, where my wife and I give monthly local donations to our place of worship, our local hospitals, and our local food banks. But back in May, all of that has changed. Um, this event that I'm going to speak about has caused immeasurable harm to my business and has severely impacted my family. So, what happened on the morning of May 10th? I woke up to approximately 3,000 emails of Amazon refunds, which I later find out that Amazon issued a bulk refund on an entire ASIN that I was previously selling. I was first told that this was a bulk refund on the entire ASIN across all sellers, but in talking to other known sellers who sell this product, that was not the case. So here's the story. Back in August and September, I purchased 3,500 units of a product. It was an ASIN with a large number of active sellers, and I sent the product into FBA using the UPC barcode, which resulted in my product being commingled with other sellers. This product was a high volume seller, and I quickly sold all of my stock as they became available. Um, with that many quantities, as you can imagine, I did receive a return here and there, with a handful of those returns being that the product just didn't fit correctly for the customer, or that it just didn't meet the expectations of the customer. With these returns, I believe Amazon's AI picked it up and gave me an inauthentic policy violation at the end of September, for all of these customer complaints. However, even with this policy violation, I was still able to sell the product while my appeal was being heard. And I provided Amazon with all of my documentation, such as my invoices and the supply chain documentation. And then in early October, on October 4th, I received a response from Amazon, clearing the policy violation and saying, after review of your account, I may continue to sell this product. I proceeded to sell the product up until November, which I sold my last unit, and then I fully removed the product from my catalog, meaning I deleted it from my account. Now, fast forward to Saturday, May 10th. This is where I woke up in the morning to Amazon doing a bulk refund on the entire ASIN that I sold. This bulk refund totaled over 3,100 orders, and it amounted to over $83,000 taken from my account. That's when you consider all the fees and everything. This refund happened without ASIN suppression, buyer complaints. There were no account health flags or policy violations, and there was no notification or explanation at all regarding what was going on. In a panic state, I quickly called Amazon seller support and escalated enough after being on hold for a few hours to the account leadership team, where I was told this refund was due to counterfeit products. I was confused. Given back in October, Amazon reviewed my supply chain, they reviewed my invoices, and they gave me approval to sell this product. So, how could it be counterfeit if they already gave me approval? Furthermore, I provided the same documentation to the individual I was speaking with, and then he emailed me back acknowledging that the supply chain appears valid and that this case was going to be escalated to the brand protection team. It took 9 days, but 9 days later, I finally received a response to my escalation saying the refunds were valid due to a counterfeit report and alleged risky signals in my supply chain. These claims are not just unproven, they are factually impossible based on the sequence of events. Since then, I have been reaching out to the Amazon executives, trying to get someone to use common sense and look into this matter without giving me a boilerplate template response. However, no one is taking responsibility to this matter. I have been unable to get Amazon to use logic or reason or take responsibility for this wrong. I have sent countless appeals and emails and have received 2 responses that are literally the same template, but with slight adjustments. Both responses vaguely claim there are risky signals in the supply chain that are sometimes seen in fraudulent supply chains. But how can they justify a mass refund that happened before I gave them the supply chains to re-review? To make it worse, they claim that the rights owner has confirmed that the product is counterfeit, but that is not possible. This product is in a pool of commingled inventory and cannot be traced back to me. And how did the rights owner do that when I have not sold this item in the last 7 months? To further break this down for you, Ed, my product was sent to Amazon FBA using the product UPC code, and it was commingled with other inventories. Commingled inventory means there is no traceability. Amazon cannot trace this inventory back to me. Yet I am being solely responsible for something that could have not come from a seller in the pool, that could have come from any seller in the pool. This is not enforcement, it is scapegoating. The refunds were issued before my supply chain was even re-reviewed. The mass refund was processed early on May 10th. My documentation was submitted and reviewed many hours afterwards. Amazon is now claiming the refunds were justified based on documentation that has not yet been provided. That is both factually incorrect and procedurally invalid. In addition, Amazon previously approved my supply chain. The exact same supply chain has already been provided back in October. I did not source or sell anything different after that, and I did not send any new inventory into FBA. So how can documentation that was considered valid in October suddenly be invalid in May without any chance of response from me? And then also, my last sale was in November. The refunds were issued in May. There were no complaints, no red flags, and no activity on this ASIN for 7 months. So why now? The
Right.
interesting part, oh, sorry.
No, no, it's incredible and it's frustrating, and you try to do everything right. I mean, you're going to extreme length to keep your account health rating, and it's just the human toll on I really understand when you say it affected you, your family, your wife, everyone, because you don't expect this and you can't plan for this, and it's a human error. If it happens, it happens. Nature, but this is a human error which didn't have to happen and it can be fixed. So hopefully someone at Amazon sees it. And anything else you want to say in closing?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the interesting part is a few other sellers that I'm aware of purchased the same product from the same supplier at the same time as me, but they were not affected by this, only me. So it seems like I'm being scapegoated here.
Right.
Um,
No, it's
Amazon,
horrible. It's horrible. In the past, I've seen they've done it and then they fixed it. So I think somebody's going to see it, and hopefully I think if they would call you up and just work it out, hopefully it'll be resolved. So,
yeah.
um, yeah. Anything else you want to say in closing? And
I just desperately need an executive to help navigate through this. I want to believe it was an honest mistake, but as time goes by and I keep on getting the same boilerplate response, I just believe that Amazon's just covering up a mistake. And and their justification is very vague, and there's just no transparency here.
yeah. Okay. Hopefully somebody sees it and you get some relief. And very nice meeting you. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you, Ed. Thank you.